In 2020, four friends decided to listen to every one of the greatest 500 albums as decided by Rolling Stone magazine. This resulted in a text chain that celebrated the music, excoriated the order, and led us to making this podcast. We are far from experts. We promise to do almost no research. All opinions are our own, unless you disagree. Please sit back and enjoy Beck Did It Better. From 1971, this is Hunky Dory by David Bowie. Guys, I actually screwed up and I was trying to find Hunky Dory like movies online, and I found one, but it was a Finding Nemo porn parody.
Hunky Dory?
Hunky Dory.
Hunky Dory.
Hunky Dory.
There used to be a Hunky Jesus contest in Dolores Park. I don't know if it still is, but it'd be like same thing. Hunky Dory, Hunky Jesus.
Hunky Jesus.
Who comes to that? Who goes to a hunky like? Because either you're like,
you see all these trophies I have behind me, man? Hunky Jesus, third place. Damn you.
There's only two contestants.
If I would have brought my own Hunky Judas and he would have pointed to me and said, "That is the true Hunky Jesus," then I would have won. And all I won was 30 pieces of silver. So actually, I think I got the story reversed there. I got to go back and check. But no, but I saw that Hunky Dory porn parody and it was like, oh no, I need to find my stepmom in the ocean.
Stepmom in the ocean?
Stepmom. And she was stuck. Oh no, a school of bonefish.
Oh.
I actually have quite a bit of these written down.
Stepmom stuck in coral.
Yeah, I just wrote hammerhead shark ? I'm not even sure if that's a joke, but I wrote it. And I didn't write it. I actually come up with these on the top of my head. Guys, listen, we don't
electric eel?
Yeah, we did. That's making me laugh, but I can't quite put my finger on why. All right. So let's turn on K-Rob.
K-Rob.
K-Rob. K-R-O-B. Last week we learned one thing about Aaron. When he test drives a car, he really drives that car. Oh, yeah.
When Aaron walks in, he's out of breath. His wife said, "Did you fall off your bike again?" Aaron's excited and tells her no. The dealer finally has a car to show.
Yes.
Aaron wants a car that is cheap. He won't buy it, but he wants to lease. And he goes to the dealership. Says, "Can I test drive it, please?" The dealer asks him how long he'll be gone.
Here's the bill.
Aaron lies and says not too long. But it turns out it's not the truth. His test drive was so prolonged. Aaron's test drive takes a long time. I don't know, where did that new Honda go?
Yes.
I'm calling the 5-0.
Oh.
Now we see Aaron driving up the West Coast. Oh man, dealership's about to close.
Yes.
Aaron still hasn't shown 5 hours test drive for his new car.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. This is exactly how I felt driving down 880. Yes. Freedom. Yeah, might as well be a Mick Ronson guitar solo.
Roll down that moonroof, let the wind blow through your non-existent hair.
Some amazing vocal range on that one, Rob.
Yeah, impressive.
Well, if you notice, I did not take much of that more than once because I would not have been able to sing that high. And even then, it was, if you really listen back, it's questionable.
Beck Did It Better.
Welcome, everybody, to Beck Did It Better. We are going through the Rolling Stone Top 500. Listen, I told you in the introduction. I don't need to say it again, but I've got 3 of my best friends right here. That's right, guys. I said it. I'm getting in touch with my emotions, and my emotions are touching back. Don't like that. Don't like that I said that. I've got
Are you lying down, or are you standing? Are you standing up, or are you lying down?
I've told you before. When you do it standing up, it is not relaxing. You actually get really tired. Like, I thought I was tired doing it lying down. When you're standing up, it's like muscular tired. You're like, you feel like you run a marathon. You're like, oh, is this what Usain Bolt feels like? And I'm doing that thing with my hands in the mirror, like I'm looking like, oh, like I just finished. Never mind. Okay, I got Russell in Minnesota. Russell, how are you doing?
Guys, there's no way this episode will be a saddening bore, for we've recorded 87 times before. So we spit in the eyes of the dumb shit listeners who text me saying that listening to Rob's jokes is a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is Bowie talking about spitting on people all the time? He does it more than once on this album.
Maybe that's his thing. Listen,
he had a lot of things.
Yeah, but I think that would be one where I would say, okay, now that's one where if a girl said to me, listen, I want to spit on you.
Oh, no. Oh, gee.
No, we're not going to say no this episode. I was going to give you guys a little speech about that before the show, but we're not going to say no. We're going to roll with the punches. And then if we need to edit it out later, I'm happy to edit it out. Yes, and. It depends how good looking she is. And then I would let her spit on me. So there wasn't a lot there. There wasn't like a big bit I had planned. But if she was like, can I spit on you? I'd be like.
But just don't say no to that bit.
Yeah, but that's another one too. Like once you get married, can you imagine being a kink like couple that's married? Oh my God! Like where would you even find time to spit on each other? Like on a Saturday? You kidding? Farmers market open tomorrow. We got to get going. We can't stay up all night spitting each other's mouths. Forget about it. Matt, Minneapolis. Matt, how are you doing?
Good, I think. I don't know.
Matt's like spitting in mouths.
Yeah,
this can't be the running joke. Please.
No. Yeah, great. No, I'm doing great, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Speaking of running jokes, that Usain Bolt joke from earlier. And I've got Aaron in California. Aaron, who he thinks that what Will Smith did is unacceptable. Even if he was just going to take his mom and dad's car out for just a little drive.
Okay, here's the situation.
Oh, I like it. Topical.
They left the
kid
with a brand new Porsche. Blame mine.
These beats, man.
Of course not.
Of course.
You know what that taught me? This Will Smith slapping person thing did, Aaron?
What did it teach you?
I'm sorry that I made fun of you for being bald. Okay, now I feel bad about it. That's on me.
Are you concerned that I'm going to come through the screen and slap you? But
Aaron's wife at gmail.com might come through.
Yeah, Aaron's going to go, Kid, are you going to do something about this? He keeps saying my head looks like a giant egg with glasses drawn on.
First time ever I wrote a joke for this segment of the podcast. I wrote this down. I'm happy to be here with Rob, a.k.a. comedian, chameleon, Corinthian, and caricature. Let's talk about David Bowie, Hunky Dory.
Nice.
I have often said under my breath I'm a homo superior, but a lot of people don't understand. They don't read Nietzsche like I do.
Got to give way to the homo superior.
Guys, let's get right into our voicemail.
The freaks on the phone. Leave me alone.
Well, it's like our listeners, right?
I keep forgetting that's not really Aaron there. It freaks me out.
Hey, boys, it's Krista. Just calling to let you know that you have reached a new level of fandom with the podcast when your listeners are starting to include you in their everyday life. I received a text from another listener who's going to remain nameless, and they were having extremely bad guests, apparently. And I texted back and said, why? And they said, I don't know why. And I said, no, why are you telling me? And they didn't know why. Well, they just overshare all the time. And they said to send sympathy for their partner. And I said, why don't you just take a shot of apple cider vinegar? And if you don't know, that can help kind of with digestion and all that. People are known to take a shot of apple cider vinegar every day.
Kids to sleep.
And they then responded and said, I feel like Russell making his drinks, and sent a picture of red wine vinaigrette, asking if that would be the same. So you are now being mentioned just in passing, and we can relate to Russell's lack of having the proper ingredients. Hope you all are doing well.
So happy to be part of our listeners' gastrointestinal journeys. It's great. Like, I just love that when they're dealing with stuff in their guts, they're thinking about us.
I know. Yeah. Can you imagine? Aaron, picture our listenership, okay? It's a bunch of fat Midwesterners who regularly debate what sort of ranch is best for their cheese curds. All they're doing is going to the bathroom constantly. Like, they're experts. Like, oh, my tummy hurts. A good thing I'm an expert. All I eat is dairy all day. Like, get out of here.
Maybe I can fit this mini fridge in the bathroom over in that corner.
And I know this because I'm their king. Okay, I am their king. I'm their hunky Jesus. You know what I mean? It's the hunky New Testament with me. I know what I'm talking about.
That's who they're praying to when things are getting rough in the bathroom.
Well, thank you so much for calling and talking about your friend's gas.
Appreciate it.
I am sure that Russell's going to continue. I think Russell, by the 500th episode, is definitely going to have every ingredient that he's going to need for a fully functioning bar at some point, right?
Yeah, he's going to get there for sure.
Yeah.
As long as I have those pomegranate seeds or whatever figured out by the end of it, I'll be happy. That pomegranate disaster a few months back wasn't good.
Let's get into Rollin' Going.
It's time to see what everybody's up to. It's time for Rollin' Going. Oh, yeah.
The introduction is so long. Like, we're just all staring. We haven't seen each other for like 2 weeks now, and we're all just kind of staring at each other.
It's long enough for everybody to write the Rollin' Going. Wait till the intro, and then I'm going to jot down some notes.
Aaron, Rollin' Going, how's it going with you? No, Aaron, we actually take a lot of time to prepare this.
Oh, it's going great. So firstly, my family and I were in Palm Springs on vacation last week on preschool spring break. And I have a recommendation for our
spring break.
Yeah, I mean he's off of preschool for a week. So what are we gonna do? Stay at home? We gotta go have
spring break. It's spring break. Like I can see us in like college being like, it's spring break. Let's go to the beach, and we're all like have a cooler. We have all these beers, and we just go there, and it's just us and like 300 preschoolers who are just there, totally unsupervised. We're like, oh shit, this is preschool spring break. This is a total disaster. Why did we think this was going to be a good idea?
So yeah, we went to Palm Springs. We rented a house with a pool. It was fantastic. My son's favorite thing about Palm Springs was the Air Museum and the Pearl Harbor diorama narrated by Tom Brokaw. We had to go to the Air Museum 2 times because he really enjoyed watching the Pearl Harbor narrated by Tom Brokaw. And I have a recommendation for our listeners. There was a book at our rental by an author named Justin Kerr, and it's called A Place to Bury Strangers. It is a fictional story about Joshua Tree National Park and the desert. And if you're fascinated about the desert, as I was at the time, I got to recommend that. But as you know,
can we understand, like, you guys decided to take your son to some sort of World War II memorial museum, or what's going on here?
There was an air museum in Palm Springs. And so I was like, they got planes there and stuff. So I was like, let's go check it out. And he could like get inside a plane. But he was really into
son, this
diorama.
Is truly the greatest generation. Now let's go home and watch this confirmation of a Supreme Court justice.
And he got really pissed at me because I wouldn't let him watch the full. There was a History Channel special playing in their little theater there. There was a History Channel special about PT boats, and he got really pissed because he couldn't stay and watch the entire thing about PT boats.
What the fuck are you doing that you won't let your kids watch the
PT boats? Are his favorite boat of all time.
He was like, oh, I want to vote for John Kerry so bad. These people who drive these Swift boats are so awesome. And you're like, how do you even get that reference?
That doesn't make
sense. But instead he's like, no, we have to go learn about the desert. I mean, get out of here with that shit. Teach your kid about the desert instead of awesome army boats? You suck.
But I took him back. You
will not sit in here and be silent in this museum. Keep it moving along.
Yeah.
We went to the Air Museum twice. I took him back. But more importantly, as you guys know, I never say the interesting thing first. So I'm glad, Rob, that you mentioned my new car in the opener. Because last time we recorded was how did you know, Rob? The last time we recorded was a Friday night. I had purchased the new car on Friday. The next day, on Saturday, we were leaving the driveway on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. And
I love this. I love my new car. I can't see anything really when I'm going on my driveway. There's no real windows on the side. But other than that, I love it. I think it's going to be just fine.
Rob, you totally got this nailed. So we were leaving the driveway and we had both cars parked in the driveway. Because we thought it was like we had them real Tetris in there. Like we're like, oh, this is like, yeah.
And you are not used to having 2 cars in the driveway. That's like a new thing.
No, we were a 1-car family. So
that's right.
I pull out and I'm trying very hard not to hit the old car because we're going to try to sell it. So I don't want to scratch the old car. So I'm trying not to hit the old car with the new car. And we've got this like garden type thing outside of our house with like this retaining wall that's like 18 inches high. I don't know how this happened, but the front tires missed it. The right rear tire ended up on top of this retaining wall.
No.
Anna gets out of the car and is just saying to me, "This is bad, Aaron. This is bad."
Yeah,
I get out to check it out,
and you're in the back. And you're in the back seat, like, I don't know what's going on. Jeez, I don't know.
Yeah.
My door's
Why
stuck.
is this so weird? We dropped.
Yeah,
Wallace is in the back in his car seat. I get out to look. Both rear wheels are off the ground. So the right rear tire is up on top of the retaining wall. The left rear tire is suspended off the ground. And so we try to figure out how to get out of the thing. We kind of we decide we're going to back up first. So we back up. It thumps down off the retaining wall. And now the retaining wall is jammed into the right, the passenger door. So then we eventually decide, okay, we can maybe turn to get this thing out. Anyway, long story short, tonight is Sunday night. We don't even have a full tank of gas. We've not even used a full tank of gas in the new car. Tomorrow morning, I'm taking the car to the body shop. It needs a brand new passenger door. I have a new car that is going to get a brand new...
How many miles is on that bad boy?
115, maybe. There were 61 miles on it.
But all of those were test drive miles that you took, right? Since you've owned it, there's nothing.
They were all Ferris Bueller miles where he had the two wheels up on the back and he was gunning it. 100 miles are wheels spinning.
Please ask the guy if this is the lowest number of miles that he's ever seen in a car that's replaced the door. Please see if you're the champion.
I gotta be close. Shop. I'm pretty sure it was at 49 or 60 miles. I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely less than 100 miles.
Oh, Aaron, I have to ask. I have to know if you're going to do this when you go in. When you bring it in, when he asks you what happened, are you going to say the wife did it?
No, sir. No way. No, I will not.
Aaron,
I'll own up to it.
I'll edit it out, but come on. Are you thinking about it now? Are you thinking real hard about it now?
You're going to be so embarrassed if you go in and admit that what you did.
Yeah.
Well, no, I already took it in though. So I don't know what the order of this stuff you're supposed to do is. I took it to the body shop first.
Well, step one, don't drive into your retaining wall. I don't know if that's on your list of what to do first.
He just looked at me and this was before we had made the insurance claims. I took it in to get the quote at the body shop and he looked at me and was like,
tell your insurance company what you did too.
He was
I would have just paid for it.
Yeah. We had to tell the insurance company we had a new car that we wanted to put on our policy and then be like, by the way, we fucked up the new car.
Yeah.
Can you please make a claim on the new car?
Oh, no. Oh, my God. So they think you're just running some sort of insurance scam. They're like, well, there's no way somebody could be so fucking stupid that they ran into something that's been in their yard. How long have you lived there now?
8 years.
So this thing has been there for 8 years. Aaron was so careful not to hit the car that he then backed off an 18-foot cliff of his driveway and then was ramming it back and forth, just making it way, 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 way worse.
And the guy at the body shop was like, what did you hit a boulder or something? And I didn't know. I was just kind of I tried not to give too much, give too much away.
I hit a boulder.
What really happened there?
A boulder jumped up from below and hit me. That's why there's no damage anywhere else but on the bottom of the door.
So brand new car, nicest car I've ever had in my life. And now it's going to be out for 8 days while they put a brand new goddamn door on the thing.
Oh, yeah. Aaron's in charge. Look out, ladies. He's got a new car. Oh, yeah. Actually, we both need to get in the driver's side door. The passenger side door doesn't open. I hit a boulder. It's not important why.
You got to really lift up and pull hard to get it open, and then shut and it's a son of a bitch.
And actually, it gets pretty cold because there's a giant hole going into the car now. So we have to bundle up. Yeah. We need to sit real close to each other.
That's the car update. And I guess we're turning this into a car podcast.
Another example of just what it would be like to be married to Aaron.
You don't know. You don't know.
You do know. It's going to suck shit. It's going to be really, really, really bad. Because Aaron went directly from cleaning his records to then going out and destroying their brand new car. The good news is, Aaron, is that you don't have to think about turning around and doing anything with that lease because it's going to be worth jack shit by the time you're done with it. You can put it into a destruction derby.
Turn that thing in 3 years from now. I haven't made a single payment on it yet.
That's not good. And and that always sucks because it's always when I bet you had something really fun planned for the rest of that day too. And it's like, hey, we're going to go to the Air and Ice Cream Museum, and I'm going to let you watch all the movies about PT boats that you want. And then instead, you and your wife are yelling at each other out on the front lawn for 45 minutes in front of your kid.
We were on the way to another 5-year-old's birthday party. I don't know how this keeps going.
I would have ran that thing up on the retaining wall too. Screw that. I'd pay the insurance bill. Seriously.
Why didn't you come to Johnny's birthday party? Aaron drove the car off the retaining wall. Yeah, right. Okay.
I can just see
heard that
Russell
one
in the car.
before.
Russell's like, okay, where are we going? A 5-year-old birthday party. He goes, okay. And he just looks over his shoulder and starts cranking the wheel.
Left, yeah.
I mean, I really regret not taking photos like when the car was jacked up on the retaining wall. Like,
you did not take photos. Come on.
No, I didn't. I
No.
totally it was like I completely messed up. I should have taken some photos.
Wallace should have been videoing you guys like sitting there thinking like,
Yeah.
well, if we just crank it just a little bit to the left, I bet we can get off of this. And
Yeah.
that should have all been on video.
So
I know, we messed it
how
up.
mad does your wife get mad at you in situations like that? Like just mad at you, just nothing you can do about it, but she's mad and you just have to eat shit or what?
In this case, she was pretty quiet, so I think that meant
Oh,
she was
no.
mad. But
That's really bad.
Yeah.
The best photo of a terrible decision I ever made. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story. We were up at this cabin we go to every year, and it was super windy out, like 80 mile per hour winds or something. And one of the resort
It's like a
one of the
tornado.
resort owners came over and said, "Hey, you guys might want to pull your boat out. It's supposed to be really windy." And in my mind, I was like, "What the fuck's going to happen? It's just going to sit there on the dock. Like what? What's the worst thing that can happen?" So we leave the boat out there.
Yep.
Huge storm comes through.
Nobody tells you what to
raining,
do.
winding, and everything. We go out and look out where our boat was. The dock is no longer there, and our boat is gone.
Oh,
And we're like, what? So we're looking out in the middle of the lake, and you can tell there's like a boat or something. You can see something floating out there, but it doesn't look like our boat. So we get in like a pontoon or something. We go out there. It turns out that it got so windy that it ripped the dock out of the ground, up into the air, upside down, and it landed on top of our boat upside down. So in the middle of a lake was our boat with a dock flipped upside down, laying on top of it, and it smashed like the top of the boat and everything. So we go out and we drag it back in, and we've got to be like the jackasses of all jackasses. Where like the resort owners looking at us like, yeah, we mentioned you might want to take it out. Instead, you ruined our dock because you left your boat out there, you asshole.
I would just say, actually, this is now a party barge. Okay, so where can I park it? Oh, guess what? Fucking anywhere, dude. It's got a dock on it. I can actually park this anywhere I want. The dock is a boat. I think I figured something out here. This is huge.
Matt, maybe I could share the picture with you for the Instagram if this makes the final.
That'll be good. Yep, that'll be good.
Oh, it's making the final cut. Hey, Aaron, and that's the other thing, Aaron. You could have sent us an Instagram of this car all fucked up. At least take a picture
know.
of the door. I want to see the door.
I'll send you a picture of the door. But yeah, I didn't take it. I messed up. I made a mistake. Yeah.
On one hand, Aaron, it sucks because it's always, we don't like to see bad things happen to people. But on another hand, I fucking called it. Like, I think we really have been doing too much of this podcast. I just said, you crash it. You're like, yes. And I was like, oh, well, there's the
It's just
story.
like
Sorry to
that's
ruin it
easy,
for you.
So, Aaron, were you pissed or like, what's your style? So when something like this, if I get into a car accident, if I lose something, I cannot handle it. I do well with certain types of stress, but that type of thing would ruin my day. It would ruin my week. It would piss me off forever. Like, do you get over this 5 minutes in or what does it do to the way you carry about the rest of your day and your week?
I think in this case, we were going to the birthday party. So my first thought was, okay, how are we going to get at least Anna and Wallace to this birthday party? And then,
what a dad.
I don't know,
Dad of the year.
it felt like well, this was such a dumb fucking thing that I did that like, I got over it pretty quick. I still replay it in my mind, just the same as like I missed the Wordle today for the first time ever. We don't talk about Wordle on the podcast, but my first Wordle failed today, and I keep replaying my fifth guess over and over in my mind. So like I do okay, but then I lie down to sleep, and I'll be like, if I had just done something a little bit different, if I had just said, Anna, would you get out and make sure I'm not going to run up on the retaining wall, over and over again. But I mean, nobody died. We're all okay, so it's fine.
She's probably doing the same thing, It's just like she's like, I wonder if I just would have married somebody different, like how different my life would be. I wouldn't be stuck in this small ass house going to 5-year-old birthday parties all the time. And I would probably have multiple good cars, and not
without a busted up door.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least Aaron's going mountain biking. Nothing could possibly go wrong today. So.
Rosie's wife at gmail.com would have a whole bunch of like nice new cars.
Yeah.
If and if Rosie wasn't married to her, then he'd have a microwave. So I don't know. It's kind of
Exactly.
good.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like everyone makes sacrifices for the people they love.
If you guys want to check your phones real quick, I did send you the text. You guys will get a laugh out of this. Or we forget.
Oh, yep. There it is. Okay. So that is definitely.
that is. That is a whole dock on top of a truck.
Not only is there a dock with the giant wheels sticking up perfectly on top of a boat, just sitting there. There's also, I would estimate, 30 people out on the shore looking at said
just checking it out
boat with a dock on it.
So everyone's like, who the hell left this boat out there? And I'm just like standing in the corner.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah, that was my only mistake, was not getting good photos of the incident. Russell, you had the presence of mind to do that.
That's when you say very loudly, like, well, I'm just helping this family get the boat out, you know. Dumb shits. Matt, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Good. I've kind of been pulling a Russell and traveling on a whole bunch of airplanes since we talked last. And
Or Beck did it better.
That's all you need to hear right there.
Time.
It's not too many. And since this opening is so long, I'll just start talking.
That I like. Tell us about the trip.
I actually cut this down too when I played it.
Hit it, Rob.
Fly
tonight.
So Sarah and I, we were in Atlanta this weekend for Sarah from Atlanta, her 40th birthday. So happy birthday, Sarah. It was real fun. Her husband did a great job putting a big surprise together for her and everything. So it was good. But on the flight home and the flight out there, I guess.
Can I just interject real quick? And I hate to interrupt Matt because he actually gets mad. That's a normal fucking birthday party to go to, Rosie. Do you understand that? Like, you go to an adult 40-year-old birthday party.
That sounds great. Yeah, I would love to do a thing like that.
I'm sorry,
Listeners out there, if you're having birthday parties for adults, I'm available to attend them.
Okay, that sounds weird.
I don't know if I want to hear
Adult birthday party. Aaron's going to show up and be like, oh, wait a minute.
Hey, adults, I am here for the party.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow adults.
It says on the invite adult party, but everyone here says they're here for fucking and sucking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is that kind of adult party?
There's a whole bunch of new pairs of socks right by the desk.
It's a fuck fest. They got new pairs of socks.
Oh, it's a fuck
It's a fuck fest.
All right, so we were at this, and so the whole thing, so we walked in, I hadn't seen Sarah in 5 years kind of a deal, right? And Sarah, my wife, Sarah, was like longtime friends with this Sarah. And this Sarah went to St. Olaf. You guys might have met her. And so we walk in, she starts bawling. It was great. Like when you haven't seen people for a very long time.
Now that sounds like
fun.
an adult party, some bawling.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was fun. But so we're sitting on the ride out when we're planning the flight. I'm like, well, how do you want to sit, Sarah? So again, and her response was, why would anybody talk about this for multiple hours on a podcast? This is the least interesting thing to me ever. Oh, you guys talk about this all the time? It's like, yeah,
armrest
we
down.
all have very strong opinions about flights now, thanks to this podcast.
Are you down with Who's Framed Roger Rabbit?
And Matt's doing all his plane bits. He's like, this is funny when I take a picture with my thumb down.
So what did you guys decide on the flight?
I would like everybody you can see the clock, right? 36:02. I would like 40 seconds.
All right,
no interrupting.
Right.
So I can get through this.
These are good, funny bits.
So
40 seconds. I'm here for
40
you.
40 seconds. Okay. So I say to Sarah, how do you want to sit? Like, do you want to be in the middle? We can sit aisle. We can sit next to each other, but I'm not sitting in the middle. So you'd be sitting in the middle, kind of a thing. So we decided to go aisle, right? So on the way home, I'm in 39D. She's in 39C, right? And she is by the big guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the big guy is not a nice big guy. He's kind of a jackass. Right. And so, are you two married? Well, would you like to switch? And I said, no,
Yeah.
and, honestly, it was just because this guy was kind of a jackass. So then I kind of felt bad because I'm like, oh, well, now Sarah's going to sit by this guy, for the whole ride. And he's just a jack. And I'm like, oh, you'll be fine. You'll be able to get to the back kind of a thing. And so, but do you guys ever separate from your significant others when you're flying? Like, have you done this? Because I think this is the way to go. You both sit on the aisle, tell everybody else to go fuck themselves.
I've never done
approach?
it. I think I've mentioned this before. The one time we both sat on the aisle was not on an airplane. It was actually at a comedy show. And the comic picked up on it right away and picked on me for sitting across the aisle from my wife. And he was like, "Oh, y'all are married? Everything okay?" Like, so that's the only, I've not done
you
it on a
weren't
plane.
like holding hands across the aisle, though. I could see you holding hands across the aisle,
Yeah.
Aaron.
We were not.
Everybody's falling, walking by. Whoa. It's hard for Jenny and I to sit by each other when she's in first class. It has gotten upgraded.
That's true.
It leaves me with the kids.
She sends the flight attendants back for your credit card so she can buy headphones or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. Jenny's got a fucking drawer that is just full of Delta headphones. It's all when we go on a flight, I pull out 3 pair. I pull out like one for all the girls and I and an extra pair. And then I say to her, please We have so many headphones. You know you're going on a flight. You know your Bluetooth headphones won't work. She's like, okay. Comes back, brand new pair of headphones coming from the plane. She's like,
so on these 3 trips that I've taken, you know, I'm kind of the outcast because I don't eat lettuce, right? I don't like vegetables. So every time we go to these restaurants, right, I got to do the whole thing of like pushing the salad around to make sure it looks like this. But I think I have found go ahead, Rob.
You're the outcast for not eating vegetables. Instead of, hey, yeah, you're like, oh, no.
We even gave you time to think about that one. Yeah.
I don't want it. No,
so, but I think I
don't
found
want it.
something that's even worse because, like, apparently, like the and I kind of know this. The
I
coolest thing to
don't
do
want the
these
lettuce.
days is to share as many plates as you can. You order 8 different whatever, but like one, I don't want. I ended up in Houston at a French Vietnamese place, right? And you guys can imagine just how messed up that is for me, right? Like nothing but tiny meat order, and then just a whole bunch of like greens and things I've never even seen before.
Just the worst.
So it's just the worst. And so these, we'll order one of these.
Like bean sprouts and mint and cucumbers.
It's your own personal French Vietnam, if you think about it, really. It's like, I was in the shit. I had all these salads coming at me. I didn't want to eat them, but I had to share my meat plates with everybody.
And so then, you know, finally one of them was like, does anybody want to is everybody okay with sharing, or does anybody want their own plate?
Who's sharing?
said, I'll take my own plate, you know, kind of a thing. Okay.
And then and then everyone thinks you're the one making it harder on people, right? They just want to order a bunch of stuff, pass it around.
And I just want to. So then we go, you know, again, then we're out last night at this pizza place for Sarah's birthday, kind of a thing. And it's like, well, let's just order like 7 pizzas, right? And everybody can just take. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get my own, you know. And so I think I'm the new weird guy. I think that's even weirder than not ordering a salad. I don't know.
I'm confused about how this is back already. Like COVID aside.
I know.
Like even if you're not worried about getting COVID, what we learned is that you get COVID from swallowing other people's spit. I know we're going back to the topic.
Aaron, you love to talk about it.
What the fuck happens?
My God.
Like,
now I
that shit is gross. Like,
how do you think these guys are sharing plates?
People
here?
got COVID.
They're not like eating off the same fork.
Yeah.
They use a serving spoon and like push it onto their plate and then pass it. What are you talking about?
And everything, that's fine. But like, that's how these diseases are transmitted, is like by being close enough to someone that they're spitting directly into your mouth. So like, why are we still doing this as a society?
So you can imagine my joy if I get to go have a dinner with these two, Matt and Aaron, where we're out sharing plates. Everybody's mad, but not for the same reason. Everybody's really upset. And meanwhile, Russell's writing everything down, and I know he's going to use it for.
No, I'm saying I'm into it. Like I'm into it.
Yeah.
Like Rob, if you want to come to my house, I will put down just a big plate of chicken and some rice on the side, and everybody just dig in. I'm happy with that. But if you're out with people you don't know that well,
I'm so pumped to go to Aaron's house for chicken and rice. What a treat!
Oh, wow.
It's about like risk calculus.
Legos.
Like when is it worth it to be swallowing someone else's germs? Like Matt, I don't know if these people you were with are worth it for you.
But then, I mean, you really think about it, like, I mean, the people cooking it, right? Like, do they, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a slippery slope, Rosie.
I mean, it is.
Like, you know.
How is that? What are you talking about?
Do you even know what they're talking about right now?
I don't.
Well, Rosie's whole thing is like, right? Like, don't cross-contaminate anything and like, don't let anybody else breathe on you. And it's like, but it's like, by the time it gets to you in the restaurant, there's at least 5 other people that have breathed on it.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of other people's saliva on your food if you're sharing plates. And don't even get me started about washing hands after the bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
I know you think
you
you're
got to trust
Aaron.
these people. You have to trust these people that they wash their hands if they're going to be digging into the same plate as you.
I know, Aaron, you think you want to go to an adult party, but it does not sound like you're ready for a full-on fuck fest. It sounds like you might. Aaron's like, okay, but I'm wearing a dental dam the whole time. It's the new mask. A dental dam is my new mask.
Okay, so the last
Aaron
thing I
walks
saw
in with
today,
one of those masks with like the skull and crossbones onto the fuck fest or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's got a hazmat suit. He's like, oh, I'm just here for fraudage. And don't ask how I know that. It's not a Bing search term.
For what?
It's the fancy French Vietnamese way of saying dry humping.
Oh God.
the last thing I saw, Rosie, here's the last thing I saw today. Sarah, we're in the airport in Atlanta, and my Sarah wants to just get something before we get on the plane. She finds this place that has like these vegetarian crepes or something like that. You know, they look good, but they had like frozen yogurt there too. So I'm like, I'll get some frozen yogurt with like some granola on it. It'd be great.
Yep, TCBY, baby.
So we're getting up there, right? And all of a sudden I see there's like 2 orders that somebody apparently made wrong, or they didn't want them or something like that. And so the worker grabs one of them, goes and opens up the soft serve thing.
No.
Pours it back in.
Oh. No.
And I'm like,
now for some reason, Aaron's giving 2 big thumbs up to that. He likes that. I don't get this at all. I don't get Aaron's thing at all.
And so then I'm like, I don't want a frozen yogurt anymore.
No, I can see how that would. Like, I could see how that would have happened to you.
Why in the world would somebody take something like that and pour it back? I don't know.
Sir, you're lucky. The machine, when it was putting out ice cream, also put out a plastic spoon. So you actually got both. We call that a Jack Horner situation because you were lucky. You got do you guys see what I'm picturing here? That he poured in the plastic spoon. It's coming out. It comes right into your. Okay, never mind.
So the last thing is, Rosie, I too, about a week and a half ago, had my first miss on Wordle, and it is unbelievably heartbreaking, and I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You know, the sun will come up tomorrow. It'll be okay. There'll be a new word tomorrow. You'll be all right. But
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm humbled, but I'm ready. Thank you, Matt, for your kind words.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll never know what that's like, so it can't be me, because if I do get it, if I do miss the word, I will simply lie about it and make a fake Wordle like I did on April Fool's. Everybody's too sweet. I sent a fake Wordle on April Fool's. Nobody cares about this, but I sent a fake Wordle saying hilarious. I got it in the first one, and everybody's like, "Yay, good for you!" And you know what? I was proud of myself. Like I got fake responses to my April Fool's joke, and I was like, "Oh, thanks. Everybody loves me so much. Maybe I should lie all the time." I think that's why those compulsive liars do it. It rocks. Lying all the time.
You
rocks.
love stolen valor, Rob. You're on record as loving stolen valor.
What other kind of valor? Actually, I'm not on recorded record. That was a post podcast of me saying that. But what else would you get valor besides stealing it?
That's the only way.
I mean, listen, there's a parade. Sure, I'll dress up in a military uniform and walk down the street. It's fun. Everybody says thank you for your service. And guess what? I have done some stuff that I should be thanked for. So yes, I'm assuming they're talking about the podcast. So just stolen valor guy, my favorite. All right. Russell, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Rolling going. We've been talking a little bit about dinners, being out. Matt was talking about eating. I have a dinner experience to share with you guys. Rob had mentioned that they do this out in New York. They actually do it in Minneapolis too. It's dinner in the dark. I went to dinner in the dark a few weeks ago, and I thought I could share my experience with you guys.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
We are both going on a date tonight, just Russell and me. When I ask him where we're going, well, he just smiles and says, "You'll see. We are going steady."
I hope Joe from
Look
Woodbury is
at
listening.
Yelp to see pictures of food and to get feedback. But all the pictures are the same. They're all just squares that are black. I order spaghetti. Ooh-wee. Russell and I are eating in the dark. Chowing down snack and slices of pork. Why did I wear nice clothes?
Terrible decision.
Halfway through, I disappear. Russell's chewing is the only thing I hear. I need to go. This is the last time we do something that was planned by you.
It's wild how Rob just composed that on the spot.
I came up with it real quick.
That's incredible. Just like off the dome.
So I went to dinner in the dark at the Commodore. Have you guys ever been to the Commodore in St. Paul before?
I think I have. Yeah.
It's kind of this. Oh, it's this bar attached to this hotel. It used to be open for dinner, drinks, and everything. Now it's just open for special events. But
are you sure it's open? Are you sure you didn't just go to a closed restaurant and you're like, God damn, these dinner in the dark. I love these things.
So it's put on by this company called Fever Up. Fever Up. I suggest all our listeners check it out. They do all sorts of cool events. They do like Frank Sinatra by candlelight, where you go and you listen to Frank Sinatra in the dark, Taylor Swift in the dark. They do weekly dinner in the dark events. So you go into this room.
As long as it's 1989 and not red, I'll be fine.
What?
As long as I'll keep it playing.
What how did they form a company just by doing normal shit, but in the dark?
It's a great idea. I have to say, you guys, dinner in the dark is a must do. It is so much fun. You get there and you have a choice of 3 different meals. So you can get meat, fish, or vegetarian. And when you walk in, they have a candle for you. So it's either blue, green, or red, depending on what type of meal that you've ordered. You sit down at this table and it's very dark. They've got some music playing. It's very dark already.
So one fucking thing they do. I hope it's pretty dark.
Well, no, it's dark, but then you put a blindfold on. So it's dark already. And you put a blindfold on. So you put the blindfold on and you can't see anything. It's nothing. But your waitress comes out. You can order drinks and everything.
Okay.
You just kind of got to be very careful with what you're putting. So they had...
Sir, give me your hand. I'm going to show you where the fork is. I mean, I'd be doing that joke all day long. I'd be like, oh, no, I must have reached into a jar of hard-boiled eggs. This doesn't feel like a fork at all.
Can I tell you what my ongoing joke during the dinner in the dark was?
My balls, please.
So this is like only me would do this. So we get to this bar. It's this really cool bar beforehand, but you have to wait for a while. You have to be there 15 minutes early. Really, you're there for like an hour having a drink beforehand or whatever. So when we were there, we got this like order of I don't know, bread and olive oil, just like as a hey, we're just wasting time or whatever. But we didn't eat it all, so we put it in the bag. So we go in and we're sitting in this dinner in the dark, like every 20 minutes, I would start crinkling the bag like I was eating bread out of the bag. So just to kind of annoy everyone.
I would constantly be zipping and unzipping things. That would be the funniest joke to be. Huh? Did somebody in this dinner in the dark just unzip something? Like everybody's looking around at who it could be.
Or you just get a little pounder underneath the table.
So what happens if you, like, my big question is like, what happens if you have to go to the bathroom? Is this like a dorm college situation where you just pee wherever and hope you're in the bathroom?
So the way it kind of went is there was only
farmhouse.
Doesn't everybody have a story like that where somebody came back to somebody else's dorm room and was like, oh yes, the bathroom, and then just pissed all over their bunk bed?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me neither.
No, it's just you.
No, so anyway, actually don't loan that guy money. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I haven't heard about that. Don't lend that guy any money.
Public service announcement. If anyone knows from St. Olaf, don't lend him any money.
Me with my checkbook. Scratch, X out. Void.
Can I withdraw my Venmo or not?
I mostly remember this guy from pissing on my roommate's bed, but he does say he's actually an African king, so I think this is going to work out. So. Yeah.
So anyways, it was a 3-course meal. So there's an appetizer and a main course and a dessert. And so one of the reasons I at one point did get up and go to the bathroom, but I waited to kind of make sure my 1 course was done. And then you can kind of communicate with your waiter or waitress. So you can kind of say like, hey, can you give us a few minutes on the next course?
So when do you communicate? Like,
well, they come out and they check
by. Are they wearing like snow pants? How do you know that they're there?
They walk out. They walk out and they say, "Hey, can I get you anything?" They use their other communication.
That would be so scary. That would be, sir, can I get you anything? Oh, Jesus Christ! It's like Batman.
But so you can kind of get up and just quickly put your head down and walk out without seeing what anyone is eating pretty easily.
So I got questions. I mean, like for like a first time date. When you're not able to like see the person and how they act, I mean, like how does that go? And it's like
Russell loved it.
Don't you want to see how they react to this stuff, or is it like one of those things where they're getting scared and it's like stressful? So it's good to see.
It's my go-to move on a first date, Matt. Keep it in the dark. Yeah. Keep it in the dark.
That's what I'm saying. So
why does this smell like mulch in here now? Don't pay no reason. Who's that unzipping? I don't know. I think is it me, sir? Your waiter. By the way, I'm going to put all the waiter noises right in the right ear only, so it sounds like the waiter's talking to you just in your right ear.
So one question I was going to have for you guys is if you went to dinner in the dark, would you use silverware or would you use your fingers to like feel around and eat stuff?
I think, I was thinking about this. I think that I would use silverware at first, but I think you'd have to just go to your fingers and go like Gollum style where you're digging around looking for the food.
I'd say go with your hands. Like, get in there. Do you get a napkin?
I ended up going with my hands for most of it to like pick stuff up, and then you could tell like if there was some sort of like rice or something that you couldn't really. You could kind of use your silverware a little bit on stuff like that. But I went with my hands, but I believe I was in the minority in the room that did that.
You really went with your hands on a date in the dark. So your date, here's what it sounds like to your date.
There's music playing and people are talking. It's not silent, Rob.
I'm with Russell. I think it's okay.
At no point can you hear other people eating, Rob. There's music playing and people are talking.
That was actually my number one question with a bullet is, do you just hear people eating? But for some reason, when you say it's dark, I also think it's quiet. I don't know why that is. I don't know why I put that together in my head.
No, I was with you, man. I'd eat with the hands. Get in there.
Yeah. Don't say that about a date, Aaron. Inappropriate.
The one thing I have to say is, this was a great experience. You are so not focused on anything else. Like if you had a bad day at work or a tough day with your kids or something like that, you were sitting there and you were just completely in the moment of trying to figure out what you're eating and using your sense of smell and your sense of taste and touch. It is so fantastic.
I gotta
did you ever get?
I gotta ask you a couple things. I'm so sorry, Aaron, but you gotta shut the hell up. Here's the thing. Number one, how do you not spill your drink every single time?
You just got to be very careful. And so what we did was we always kept our drinks on the far right of the table up against kind of there was a wall.
Oh.
So we kind of we always kept our drinks on the far side so we didn't accidentally hit them with our hands.
I would think that place would just sound like broken glass. And then there's broken glass everywhere. And meanwhile, so you can't see the broken glass. Nobody can clean it up. It's there. It's there all night. And meanwhile, you've stripped down to absolutely nothing. You are nude monkey guy eating dinner with your date. And it's super erotic because nobody knows how naked you are. Oh my God.
Aaron will get mad at me for this though. But my date and I, we did pass plates back and forth in the dark as well. So we were sharing plates, but I know Aaron doesn't like people to share food anymore.
So it's not that, no, here's the, I feel that I've been misunderstood. It's that you should only share with people you trust. And Matt's talking about being in places like Houston and Atlanta where like he may not know everyone at the table.
There was like 16 people.
You don't know their family. You don't know how they were raised. Like you don't know how clean these people are. But Russell, your date, that's wonderful. You should be sharing
dinner in the dark
for sure.
I mean, a dinner in the dark, you're just spitting in random directions and just hoping it goes in your date's mouth, you know?
Russell, were you sitting across from your date or next to your date? How do you configure?
We were sitting across. So if we passed, essentially what we would do was I would hold mine to the side and she would hold her out and just keep sticking it forward until I grabbed it. And then we would kind of swap. But changing,
I love it.
I'm going to edit out the word. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to bleep out the word plates in that story. And it's going to be so good.
I love it. And so Russell, did you ever maybe you're going to get to this, but were you ever completely baffled? Were you ever eating something and you were like, I do not know what this is?
No, there were times where you couldn't maybe taste certain flavors of it, but you had a general idea of. I was pretty close on most things. There might have been a flavors or one ingredient or something that you didn't really know, but for the most part, you were pretty close on course. You want me to tell you what we had?
Yeah, hell yeah, I want to know.
What if you wanted salt or pepper? How would you not just pour both on? I mean, I have so many questions. How did the waiter bring the food without just like putting it on your head or something? And like
the waitress would essentially walk out, and they were very good about telling you what was happening. So they would,
boo, I'm here.
So they would walk up and say, "So I'm bringing you guys your first course," and she would set them down.
And the table next to you would say, "Us." Me? And then you go, no, me?
It was pretty cool. They had you spaced out pretty well. So it's not like you were on top of other people.
Oh, well, hey, then cancel. Guess what? My dark dinner, if I'm not on top of other people, cancel it.
But so she was pretty good about telling you, hey, this is in kind of what type, it's in a bowl or it's in a plate and here's where it's at. And she kind of explained to you where stuff was.
So the perfect waitress for a dark restaurant would be like
dinner
a former...
in the dark.
Yeah, dinner in the dark would be former sex operator, phone sex line person, right? Because that's all they do is they're telling you what they're doing all the time, right?
Here's what I'm doing right now.
You know, finally, man, you're finding jobs because all these phone sex operators are out there being like, nobody's calling us anymore. I don't even think 900 numbers exist anymore. What can I do for a job? And meanwhile, Dynamite Entertainment, who is it again, Russell? Who are we plugging?
It's called Fever Up.
Fever Up. Fever Up Entertainment comes and goes, listen, you have a sexy voice. Can you serve this food? And they're like, we're right here on your right. Here's the beef. And by the way, there's some sauce on it, but I'm not going to tell you what the sauce is. Then you eat the sauce. You're like, I don't know what that sauce was.
So I got to know what the menu was, though, Russell. I want to hear it.
So we got the meat dish. We each got one of the different dishes. So I will say this: when we did see people that both ordered the meat dish, like at a different table, I was like, what fucking idiots. Like they're just eating the same thing. They can't trade or anything. Yeah, how lame. So here's what was on our meat dish. First course, beef tartare. We've talked about beef tartare before, haven't we?
So good, but cannot eat that with your hands, bro.
Love it.
Oh, cannot eat that with your hands. Beef tartare, it's raw fucking beef, dude. You can't have that on your hands.
You're going to eat it? Well, you're going to wash your hands at some point.
You cannot have it on your hands.
Guys, if you think you can have beef tartare, eat it with bare hands, please text in to 802-277-BECK and say, I'm a fucking idiot, because you're an idiot if you think that you should eat beef tartare with your hands.
Or if you're a worldly person and you understand that people ate raw beef with their hands for thousands of years and still are alive, please text in, I understand how the world works.
This also came with a crispy quinoa and preserved lemon. So this was it was essentially a beef tartare appetizer.
I love preserved lemon. I love it.
Set main
course.
What
the fuck? What is preserved lemon? What do you mean you love preserved lemons? It's like old ass lemon. It's like all crumbly and black.
They're preserved
like,
in salt. They're delicious. Yeah,
they dehydrate
the lemon flavor.
Oh, is that what that is? Is that the little black lemon limes? Because Suzanne and I have those when we go out, and we are always like, "What the fuck is this?" We never know. It looks like Elf's butthole.
Main course for the meat dish was braised short rib.
Yes.
Asparagus, a red wine gastrique, and then this is the one where I had to use the fork, was a creamy Parmesan polenta. So that was one I could not use my fingers on.
You get in there with your fingers, they're going to get kind of messy. Yeah, I get it.
You down with CPP?
Right. Yeah.
Creamy Parmesan.
All right, so then there was also a dessert for this first course.
Now I gotta say, I gotta say this. Like if they would have said any kind of chocolate, I would have been like, I bet it's dark chocolate. And it's like, hey, what's that shuffling noise I hear? It sounds like a date leaving and grabbing a bag full of bread on their way out.
So the dessert for the meat course was a dulce de leche flan, vanilla bean whipped cream. So a flan.
Ooh.
Jesus. Did you? Now I gotta ask that question, Russell.
Yeah.
Did you eat that flan with your hands?
No, I did not. So that's another one where you can
if you did, I was going to say that's got to be what it's like when you first start masturbating.
It's be a mess. Like you're going to just.
So I'll tell you guys what the fish course was, and then you can see why people
for talking over your joke. Because the last joke you made everyone be quiet for was an absolute all timer. So we for sure don't want to.
Thank you.
So here was the fish course. First course, grilled shrimp, pineapple fennel, peanut, coconut, coriander, salt.
Oh, wow.
So this is one where you can start feeling around with your fork and you're like, okay, I can grab this and eat it. And you could tell immediately it was shrimp for sure.
Yeah, you know right away. Tails or no tails?
Yeah, tails or no tails.
I did not eat those tails.
Yeah, nobody ever does. You in a dark restaurant, sir.
Again, Rob, it's not a quiet restaurant; it's a dark restaurant.
The waiter pops in, sir. Are you eating the shrimp tails? We could hear it all the way back in the kitchen. This restaurant is so quiet and so dark.
So the next was I'm going to get back to this, but it was fish, parsnip puree, carrots, walnuts, green apple tapenade. So the dessert.
I tried parsnip puree only because I was out with and Sarah was with me, and I'm like, oh, I have to try it. Not my cup of tea. Don't like it. So
the dessert was a triple chocolate mousse with strawberries, sea salt, and olive oil. So this is where sea salt was it was great. In the dark, it's a whole different thing.
Now was that dark chocolate?
It was quiet chocolate, I think. So
see how good that joke
here's where I got pissed though. So here's where I got finally annoyed. I loved everything about this experience. Here's what I didn't like. So at the end they come up and you can scan a barcode or whatever, and you can see what was on the menu, because they don't tell you what's on the menu beforehand. You have no idea. So you go and look. Turns out the fish that we have was called the catch of the day. They literally don't even tell you what kind of fish was on the menu. They just say it was the catch of the day.
Oh, that's not good.
Bullshit.
I was going to say the best thing, they come up and then here's your bill, and they don't let you see what the actual bill is.
Yeah. That would be good too.
Were your senses heightened, Russell? Did you feel like Daredevil in there? Like, could you were you smelling more? Were you tasting more, do you think?
Yes. All of your other senses were on fire, Rob.
How about the conversation? Was the conversation easier because you weren't looking at three co-hosts? When you're making a great joke about flan and flaccid penises and your three co-hosts just look back at you blankly, you don't get those stares on a dark thing. So I bet it would be great. Well, here, you know what?
Every time the conversation would stray away from me, I would crinkle my bag of bread just to try to make a joke, Rob.
That I'll tell you what, I have turned off the video and we are now going to do we're doing a podcast in the dark. Okay.
But I can still see Russell and Matt.
Well, so I got to ask you guys, I'm curious, would you guys ever go do dinner in the dark?
Yeah, I think it sounds fun.
I think it sounds 100% right up my alley, except I would bring kids. I'd be the one guy who brought kids. And
people would hate.
I'd have to constantly be telling them, shh, shh, like turn off your phone.
There is no way I would do this.
No,
and it's like, and it's not. And literally, no. I understand. Like you have laid it out perfectly.
Right.
It sounds like a great time. It is not for me. My wife would probably love it. Somebody should take my wife.
What if someone planned a menu that they knew you would like, though, Matt? What if you knew all three of your courses would be stuff that your wife would know that you would like?
Then probably, yeah. Then I'd try to, like, if I knew like what the menu was ahead of time, and
it was just crab legs in the dark, crab legs for the first course, crab legs for the second course, crab legs for the dessert. Oh my God,
crab legs would be a nightmare. Just
then the
what's
next
that
question
zipping sound? And it smells like somebody's rubbing clarified butter all over mulch. That's so weird. We're talking to a guy here who got mad when his sandwich got cut and there were flecks of lettuce on it. Matt is not going to eat a meal in the dark.
I was going to ask you guys, would you ever do this with your kids? Would this be like a fun activity for your kids to do, like lunch in the dark with your kids? You turn the lights out, you bring out some of your kids' favorite snacks.
God, yes. That's actually a great idea. I don't think my kid would go for it because he's very picky about food, but I kind of want to try it now. I like it.
I think you could sell it. I think that's a great idea. You know what, Russell?
Genius.
We might have to do a closet lunch this summer. Just all get in the closet, hang out. Lunch would be tough for dark. I think I would guess Dynamite Inc. is mostly selling dark like dinners and not like dark brunches or something like that. But
it's called Fever Up.
Fever Up. Okay. I would say, I think that'd be awesome with kids. You know my famous dark story, right? I've told you guys before.
Let's hear it.
I used to do a lab where I teach about how light works. And kids always think that light works by like going into your eyes, right? And so I would find a closet in a dark room and I would stuff my whole class into this closet. We could all fit in the closet. So there's like 23 kids, middle schoolers, and me. And I'm in this thing and I hold up an apple, right? And I turn off all the lights and it's like dark. Like, have you ever been like in a cave underground dark? Like where it's just like, oh, I'll never.
I've been at a dinner in the dark with a blindfold on and it was dark. But you could hear stuff, Rob. Could you hear stuff in your dark closet or not?
I've had lots of dates ask me to put on blindfolds, but then they say they want to put it on. So I don't get what that is. It's like a weird kink they have. So I would stand there and then teach them about light and they would be like, oh yeah, my eyes are never going to adjust. And I was like, yeah, the light has to bounce off things. And then we'd be ready to go and I'd turn off the light or I'd turn the light back on. And I would have put on a clown wig that I'd hidden in the closet earlier. And I had a knife in my hand and I went, whoa, and then I turned off the light again. It killed. Okay. It was literally the talk of the town and like city council, talk of a lot of people, actually. There were a lot of adults who wanted to talk about
the parent meeting.
But I did that. I legit did that lab for like 3 years. And I knew it was bad because other teachers at this school would be like, oh, you did what? And I was like, yeah, isn't that great? And they're like, no, you shouldn't be in the dark closet with kids for 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, but I'm teaching them about light. And they're like, you shouldn't do that. And one of those kids was named Fever Inc. And he went on to start the dark dinner. He liked it so much.
Speaking of being the talk of the town, Rob, rolling going, how's it going with you?
So if I said to you guys that we're at a elementary school carnival, okay, first of all, Aaron would be like, yeah, I call that a Tuesday, but
normal stuff.
Normal stuff. And I said that we're going to do a cakewalk. We're going to do a cakewalk. Would you guys know what I mean by that?
You know, they have cakes on chairs. It's kind of like musical chairs, but there's cakes. But like, don't sit on the cake and fart in the cake. But just like, once you stop at a cake, you get to earn the cake.
Yeah, like you walk around and there's numbers like on the chairs or on the ground. And then the music stops and you're standing there and if they pull your number, you win a cake, right? Mm-hmm. I know about this. Do you know about this, Matt? Is this something you did?
I've never done it. I've seen it a couple times. So yeah.
There is nobody in New York who knows what I'm talking about. Not a single person out here knows what a cakewalk is. There's somebody I work with from California who knows what it is, but I was describing it to coworkers and I was like, yeah, you'd walk around and at the end you'd win a cake. And they're like, oh, like a slice of cake? And I'm like, no, you would win a whole fucking cake. I would be in 5th grade and I'd be walking around with this fucking cake knowing I am fucking king of the world. And guess what? You want to win early because guess what you get to do? You get to
Choose
go
the
pick
cake.
You get to go
Yeah.
pick the fucking cake. So I'd go back there and pick
Don't end up with German chocolate.
it didn't matter. I'd get the biggest one. I was like, it doesn't matter. I mean, because I would eat it in the dark too, but it was me sneaking out to the kitchen at night. That was my dark dessert. But then you explain that to people here and they look at you like, what? Nobody knows what a cakewalk is. And it makes me sad for them, honestly.
Rob, when you would win first, would you pick a homemade cake or a store-bought cake?
Fuck that. I'm always picking a store-bought cake. The biggest
Store-bought,
one.
no question.
Yeah, the biggest one with the biggest frosting roses. Like I
Yes.
So if you don't know what a cakewalk is, can you just email in and say, I don't know what a cakewalk is? Call 802-277-BECK or text in and just tell us what state you're from because I'm trying to figure out where exactly a cakewalk.
So basically, we're going to get a call from Magic Mike 69 because everybody else lives like Edina, so they obviously know it.
Well, and what's her name? Tush down in Texas or whatever her name is. She'll call in. And folks, you know what I really think takes the cake? Let's talk about the album.
It's time for nobody's favorite part of the show. Let's talk about
the music
the album.
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I love this dinner, but it sounds like someone's sitting in our cake on the table. Does it sound like that to you? I can't hear you. It's too loud in this dark restaurant.
Yeah.
Way too loud. I'm trying to get somebody to turn down the music, but they don't actually see me motioning at all. The restaurant is
find the volume.
It's so dark. Yeah. Sir, we tried, but all we can do is turn the bass way up. All right. And again, that was in your right ear because that was the waiter voice. If you're listening on a left headphone, sorry, you missed a bunch of jokes. That's on you. So listen, this is the album where a lot of people point back to it and they say, this is David Bowie becoming David Bowie, right? The album before this was The Man Who Sold the World. And it was a little bit more bluesy and guitar. I looked back at the track list for that song, did not recognize a single one off of it. And then he comes out and he does this Hunky Dory. But what's wild is that Hunky Dory comes out and it's basically a flop. Like this song comes out, it's super piano based. It's got, I think we're gonna talk about it, but it's got killer song after killer song. This album is, it's as thick as a picnic. Like this is unbelievably just a great album. And everybody's like, huh. And then after this album is when he comes out with Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And everybody goes, whoa, that's a fucking great album. And then they go, hey, you got to check out this album from before. And so Hunky Dory kind of, in retrospect, becomes super famous.
I think he was about making music that sounds really fucking good. And it's interesting because there's actually, to me, there's a lot of Beatles influence. And he was working with an engineer who had worked with Paul McCartney and George Harrison. And he sort of like talks so much about America because he was like, always in conversation with the United States, but to me, there's a ton of Beatles influence on here. But like, who cares what the songs are about? They sound fucking amazing.
So the first, listen to this first song, Changes, right? I mean, this
he can start an album.
Still don't know what I was waiting for, and my time was
this
running wild.
Album sounds so good. It is crystal clear. It is so well produced. He produced it with another guy.
Ken Scott. Shout out to Ken Scott. I had to look him up because he was the engineer on his previous record and he engineered George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. And shout out to Ken Scott because he and Bowie created a whole sound here that just sounds great.
Do you think David Bowie's the king of the build? Listen to this right here. Just listen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, he changes the tone of it. It sounds so fucking good, this album.
I keep talking about how I don't like strings on pop records, but I love every string flourish on this record. I think it's just all perfectly done.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Oh You Pretty Things. No other rock and roller could sing Oh You Pretty Things and sound awesome.
This sounds like a Dylan piano, right?
Yeah. And then listen, so the build comes up too. So this is a song where he's referencing Nietzsche again. God, that name keeps fucking coming up.
These guys are all reading Nietzsche.
Should we all be reading Nietzsche? Maybe we should. Listen to this. Right here.
Oh, this is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's wild is that this is another one of those songs where he wrote this. So David Bowie at this point was really trying to focus on his songwriting and was selling his songs to other people. And he had actually written this for Peter Noone of the Turtles. So this is 1971. Peter Noone released this version in April. Bowie released his version in December. But listen to Peter Noone's version. I kind of like it.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, it's pretty square.
Doesn't this just sound like a Paul McCartney song?
It does. It sounds so much like Paul McCartney. Right, Matt?
I'm gonna carry that weight.
Yeah, Matt, you're totally right.
Those two songs to open the album. I listened to this album so many times getting ready for this, and I was happy every time I got to sit down and put it on. It's so good.
I thought about it when I was having dinner in the dark, and the whole time, every time I'd eat something new, I'd go, "Oh, you pretty things." It was kind of creepy, kind of not creepy.
I don't know at all. No, totally.
Oh, you pretty things.
Okay, real quick, I gotta ask: if you have to go to the bathroom, do you have to ask a waiter to come get you
to what,
and then walk you to the bathroom? And are the lights on in the bathroom?
You take your blindfold off, you get up, and you walk through the dining room, and you go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of boring.
You got to zip your fly up first, though, because Rob talked about the fly up and fly down the whole time. You got to make sure it's up.
At any point,
then you go.
were you walking by somebody's plate and you maybe just grab a little schnibble off their plate, just a little bit? Just, they're not going to see it.
Couple fries.
Yeah,
just grab a couple fries on your way out.
Matt, there were no fries. You would have been pissed.
8-line poem. This guitar sound here. Oof.
Yeah. But this sounds like a George Harrison sound.
Yep.
So this is him pretty much reuniting with his old guitar player, Mick
Ronson. He's great on this album. He makes a bunch of different sounds. Yeah.
He's so good. I mean, this was the band that became pretty much the Spiders from Mars, plus the piano player for Yes. So he's got a stacked band. Plus, we got another David Bowie saxophone solo coming up later in this album, guys.
Ooh,
it's
I
our
know.
favorite
The sax on here is.
It's our favorite thing.
Maybe I missed it earlier. Where does this compare to the first two albums that we've listened to on the list in terms of chronological?
Station by Station is way after this album. That's like his I'm going to eat hot peppers and drink milk and do cocaine phase. This is right before
That's
Ziggy.
76.
Yeah, this is right before Ziggy Stardust.
Got ya.
And in fact, he was going
71.
through Ziggy Stardust when he was doing this, so much so that the album was, the record label was like, I don't want to even give any money to this album because by the time we show everybody Hunky Dory, David Bowie is going to have moved on to a new persona, which is kind of what that Changes song was about, right? And now,
so
go ahead, man.
Well, I'll just say, the only thing I did in preparation for this was to look up this little faction here. So I'm going to just state it. David Bowie's got 5 albums on the top 500 list.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust at 40, Station to Station at 42, this one at 88, Hunky Dory, Low at 206, and then Scary Monsters at 443. They were all done between 1971 and 1980. And so out of the 500 best albums of all times, David Bowie's got 5 of them, and they're all in like a 9 to 10 year span.
Period.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's somebody can make the argument that he is one of the most influential musicians of all time, just based on some of that stuff. So I mean,
it's a great run.
It's not,
it's a
nobody,
great run.
nobody's going to argue with it, but like that's some pretty heavy power right there.
Yeah.
I'm happy every time we've come up on a David Bowie album. It brings me joy every time I listen to this. It's so good. And this song, I mean,
yeah. Do we give it 2 claps before we even listen to it?
I mean,
this is just
so
amazing. But
Life
the
on
first thing I
Mars.
was thinking of, Rob and I were talking about this earlier, and I said I was listening to this album a few times today, and when I got to this song, I listened to it like 4 times in a row, and I needed to ask Matt, you have this list of perfect songs. Is this on your list, or did this get consideration or not?
But it should be in consideration. No, for sure.
Right?
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I have an announcement to make.
Yeah.
I think this might be a top 5 pop song of all time.
I might agree with you.
I think David Bowie could write a song. I'm going to just say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he could write a good song.
Number 1, God
Beach
Only
Boys
Knows by
song.
Beach Boys. I had to think about it. Number 2, Hot for Teacher, of course, by Van Halen. Number 3, shit, I had this list all done. I can't remember it anymore. And number 5 is Life on Mars. It's so good. It's incredible.
You hear that piano? It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So this is recorded at this studio in London, the Trident Studios, and I think Bowie, a few of his other albums were recorded there. But so one of the late additions to this album was this guy named Rick Wakeman, who was a session musician who brought in and ended up playing the piano. And Bowie kind of told him, like, you play the piano and I'm going to work everything else around the piano. I just thought that was really cool. But I was reading a little bit about this piano, and he played this piano, which was a 100-year-old Bechstein grand piano. And it turned out that this was actually one of the most famous pianos in music or rock and roll history. And we'll get into why it was famous. But so nowadays, like I was reading that like all instruments are mass produced. So everything sounds the same right now.
Mm-hmm.
But back, when pianos were made hundreds of years ago, they're all handcrafted. So they all sound a little bit different. Right. And this one had harder hammers. So you really had to hit the keys hard. And that's what kind of gave that bright and that crisp tone, right? So that tone is so cool. Very distinct, isn't it?
Rob's on Amazon right now looking for a.
I've got
hammer and hard.
I was just gonna say, hammer don't hurt them, but that I was like, don't say it, Rob. It's so stupid.
But so anyway, there's all these people that recorded at these Trident studios in London. There's like a 15-year period, and so many famous acts played some of the most amazing songs ever on this Beckstein grand piano at the Trident Studios. I thought we could do a list of the best songs ever at the Trident Studios that use the grand Beckstein piano.
And this is like a singular piano.
It's one same piano. Yes.
Does it still exist? Is it still alive?
Well, I'll tell you the history of it once we get into
Russell,
it.
This is great.
Yeah,
There's
a couple pianos. Like I think like Austin City Limits has one they bring out things. I mean, there's a few like extremely famous pianos.
I'm very excited.
I bet that's why he wore the baggy pants in all of his videos. Because he was a harder hammer.
Can't touch this. Ooh. That's like when Hammer went hard. He was like pumps with the bump, pumps with the bump.
You like the girls with the pumps.
We like the girls with the pumps and the bumps.
So the first one of the first groups that recorded, and they actually moved the White Album from one of the studios to the Trident so they could use this piano, and they ended up playing there for a few albums, but one of the most famous songs played on this was Hey Jude by the Beatles. Check out the piano and you'll hear it. You hear that piano?
Yeah. Did they nickname it? Awesome. Or was it a different one that they nicknamed? Did they nickname this piano? Like
I didn't see a nickname for it, but there could be a name for it, Matt. You could be right. I just saw it called the Beckstein at Trident. You know what? Remember when we were talking once about how someone voted Strawberry Fields the best Beatles song ever? I saw something where when all the Beatles music came out on iTunes in 2010, the most downloaded song was Hey Jude. So to me, don't you think that means, hey, that's got to beat Strawberry Fields?
That's the song you want to hear. Like that's what you need. The movement you need is on your shoulder. That's the one you got to hear if you need some music. Yeah,
it gets you in the mood. I agree with Aaron. It gets you going.
Rob,
it's ready to go to dark restaurants. Hey Jude is like, hey, we're all ready to Jude. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh yes. In my mouth.
How did we get here?
So the next song on the list, as you guys know, I did get a hold of Rob's wedding video, and I've been looking for bridesmaids in that movie so I can give them a call and try to get a date. But while I was watching the video, I actually came across Rob's first dance song, which is Elton John, Your Song, which was played on the Trident Beckstein.
If you listen carefully, you can hear Aaron singing in the background, ruining my wedding.
Yeah, I'm just out there just trying my best to do a Josh Groban song. It's not working out.
Why did we pick a Josh Groban? It's so strange.
So I had such a hard time. I had to share one more Elton John with you guys. I needed to share that I had been watching Rob's video, but it's been successful, maybe. I should say that I have maybe got a hold of one of the bridesmaids.
Oh,
nice.
We'll see. We'll see.
Way to go.
But actually, Elton John recorded
only when she's
times,
in a bachelorette party.
And one of them was Tiny Dancer, 1971. Check out the Beckstein at the Trident here.
Man, it's such a nice deep sound. Like it's a really cool piano.
That's because it's too legit to quit. It's got this harder hammers.
You can see why people would go to great lengths to play on it.
And we've talked Tiny Dancer before, and we talked Tony Danza before, but we never talked that when Tony Danza hosted the ESPY Awards, Chris Berman actually gave him the nickname Tony Tiny Danza.
Yes.
And he hated it on the show, and he claimed he wanted to be nicknamed Tony Extravaganza. Tony Extravaganza.
Tony Extravaganza.
Rob, what would Tony Danza have said at the ESPYs if someone called him Tony Tiny Danza?
Samantha, they're calling me Tony Tiny Danza. Jonathan, get over here. Can you believe it? Oh no. Mona's stuck under the coffee table again.
Tony Extravaganza.
Mona, I'm going to spit on this coffee table. What?
I'm not allowed to say no. I forgot.
Is Mona still alive? Wait a minute. I have an idea for a good bit. Googling, is Mona alive? You visited this page 10 times. Try explaining that
Google
joke to
flags
somebody.
that or anything? Like, do they need to flag that and like shut people off?
Yeah.
Hey, the guy's back and he's Googling whether Mona's alive again.
Yep. Just to let you know, we turn off your internet for 24 hours if you search "Is Mona alive?" because you've been online too much.
Next song on the list, 1972. I don't think she's been on our list yet. This is Carly Simon, "You're So Vain." Check out the piano here.
Oh yeah.
You hear it's that bright sound.
I know.
You know, I have a history with this song.
What's your history?
I demanded it was the first song at my wedding. Or no, my wife demanded. Wait, what's the joke where I'm so... can't think of it.
Interesting couple of things about that song. Bass player on that song was Klaus Bormann. You remember him?
Was he on that Lennon album?
He was on he was part of the Plastic Ono
Guys,
band.
we are getting
nice job, Rob.
fucking Einstein smart because of this podcast.
We know a lot about music.
It's not just about the flaccid penis joke I made earlier. There's other stuff we're
we've talked
learning.
James Taylor, how he was dating who did he date before? Was it
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell?
Yeah, he dated Joni Mitchell when she.
So he was dating Carly Simon right before this, and so a lot of people thought this was about James Taylor, but she said it was not. But the other people that people have guessed who it was about was Cat Stevens or Yusuf Islam, David Cassidy, or David Bowie. People thought this song was about David Bowie.
Ooh, interesting. And didn't Mick Jagger sing backup on that one?
Yes, you're right.
Joni Mitchell was James Taylor's second favorite heroine.
Second favorite heroine?
His first favorite heroine was just heroin.
It was just heroin.
Black tar.
Black tar. Russell gives a knowing nod and goes, black tar.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to an all dark opium den later. It's going to be really fun.
All right. Next song on the list. This is 1974. This is Queen, "The Seven Seas of Rhye." You guys know this song?
No,
nobody knows this song, Russell.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, that was nice. Who's playing? Is Freddie Mercury playing the piano on this one?
That is Freddie Mercury on the piano.
Wow. Oh, that's great. And it's kind of got some Billy Joel stylings to it, like the.
And so I was thinking, like, well, what's the connection with Freddie Mercury and David Bowie? What is it?
They probably had sex with each other.
It's Under Pressure. They did Under Pressure together.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And
I thought Aaron was right, actually.
Guess what studio they recorded Under Pressure at? The Trident Studio in London.
Oh man, that is an all-time. I love that song so much.
Guess who lived in the apartment next door? A young lad, because it's London, named Vanilla Ice. And he heard that and he goes, damn, that sounds good, except for that last note legally.
You gotta because it's like doom 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 doom. It's like a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
The last song on the list. This song actually was on the list once before on our greatest glissando list ever. Remember that when you rip your finger up and down the piano?
Yeah, it hurts.
So remember T-Rex bang a gong,
So
get it
smart.
on. Check this out. This was recorded on the Beckstein at the Trident.
What?
Yeah.
It's a great song. There was the gliss.
That gliss, didn't it sound kind of similar to maybe a gliss on Spiders from Mars or whatever this song that we're listening to?
I would say it did.
Life on Mars?
Yeah. Right there.
There?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking
You guys want to know why it sounds so similar?
Yeah,
There were
why?
actually two piano players on that song, and one of them they hired just to do the glissando. It was Rick Wakeman. It was the same guy who played with David Bowie. They hired
Russell,
him just
this
to
is
do that
incredible.
glissando.
Oh
Isn't
my
that
God.
crazy?
It's amazing. He just walked in like 1 hour of work, just like, okay, take my check.
So you guys were looking, what happened to the piano? So they were moving it in like 1980 to a different studio, and they had it in a cradle.
Uh-oh.
And it must have been Aaron who was running the machine on it or something. They lifted it up in the air and they dropped it, and it got destroyed. And so they rebuilt it, and it sold at some auction, but nobody knew where it ever ended up.
Oh, that's horrible.
Russell, that list got me in my emotions. That's got me in my feelings.
good, huh?
Wow.
That was up and down. I mean, it was like a keyboard. It was like a 88
Not had
keys
a
up
list
and
with
down.
that many connections for a long time. Kudos, Russell. That's amazing.
That was fun to learn about.
Wow.
It's crazy that it's one piano is that famous. They did all the thing. Plus, a person coming in and doing just a glissando. That's what I pictured life was like for all music majors in college. Like I'm studying real shit, and they're doing like, and they're like, listen, this is a song about a ballooning thing over the Arctic or whatever.
Speaking of music majors, I think the reason they hired him is because he was poor at the time, and they felt bad for him. So they're like, well, we can give Rick a part on this on the T-Rex album and get him a paycheck. They hired two piano players, one for him just to do the glissando to get him some money.
Yeah, we got to check here. In the memo, it just says glissando. Do you know what that means? All right, Kooks. This was dedicated to his son.
This also sounds like Paul McCartney, right? I mean, I don't know why I was just thinking of Paul McCartney for this half of this album, but
to me, this almost makes it sound like he's making fun of music, like in general. He's like, check what I can do with music.
It's the one for his kid, right? Where he's like, welcome to the world. We're kooky. Yep. Enjoy it.
I was reading that he was listening to Neil Young when he found out his wife was pregnant. I was kind of curious. What was your guys' reaction when you found out you were going to be a parent for the first time? What was your reaction?
Oh, super happy. That's all I wanted. I need attention. I need attention so bad that I will create life to get more attention.
I will say we found out really early, and my brother was here visiting us. I don't know if I've ever told him this. My brother was here visiting us the moment we found out, but it was so early that it was like still too early to tell somebody. Right. So it was like a super silent mini celebration, and then just pretend like the rest of the weekend was normal, no big deal. But I'm totally stoked, man.
Part of me was a little upset though when we found out, because I was convinced, because I was like, Jenny and I were like, okay, we're going to have a kid. We need to have sex until we have a kid. And I was like, yes, this is it. This is going to be... You need me to try to do that every night of the week? Well, I've only been practicing this since 8th grade. This is what I've been ready for my entire life. I have been out in the field doing my marches. I've been doing my calisthenics. I've been getting ready. I've been
laying on my back.
Yeah, I've been like, I can do this. I could do this. Yay, I could do it twice a night if you really want to. It's not a big deal to me. And then literally she got pregnant in a week and a half. And I was like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. No. You know what I mean? It was like the Dan and Dave Olympics things where they were both in decathlete. They got all fired up. And then one of them just didn't qualify for the.
Yeah, Dave didn't even make it.
Yeah, that was it. That was me with this thing. I was like, this is going to be the greatest. And I was like, oh, yep, it's great. I'm happy.
Matt, what would you compare your response to? What Olympic event would you compare your response to finding out you were going to be a
dad? Probably the Russian doping. Look, this will be coming out somewhere close to Mother's Day, right? And for some people, I'm not lying, I'm bringing it down, but it's okay. For some people, Mother's Day, people are trying to get pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. And they can't get pregnant. And Mother's Day is horrible. You should never ask anybody, well, how come you're not pregnant yet? Yeah, and well, when are you guys going to have kids and stuff like that? It is biting, and it's like a knife to the heart of some people. So we had to do all sorts of stuff. So we had to do PGD and all of this stuff, right? And so, when finally after 3.5 times of going through IVF and stuff, we got Leo, this is kind of a good story too. So, so we did all this stuff, and it takes all this money to do it, right? So then the second one, so we had Leo, 3.5. Great. Everything's happy. So the second time we figure out that you can do insurance on this, right? And so you can essentially up front buy 2 rounds. Right? So if you have it on the first one, it's double. If you have it on the second one, you paid whatever. You had it on the third one, well, you got it for a third of the, 2/3 of the cost, whatever. If you didn't get pregnant after 3, you got 60% of the money back for this kind of a deal, right?
What kind of weird system is this? It's a very elaborate scam.
Yeah. So of course we're like, well, we'll just pay for the insurance. That's why it took 3.5 times last time. So as you can guess, how many times do you think it took with Eddie to get for the stick one in and have it start cooking? Yeah. How long do you think?
Just
one
first time. First time. So,
one time.
Exactly.
That's fucking kids, man. Even before they're fucking born, they're just taking that money from you like crazy.
But so we paid double, ended up with a kid. Who cares? Everybody's happy, kind of a thing.
There's some analysts sitting in a cube like Aaron, looking at the insurance payments like, these suckers. We're gonna get it now.
Sons of bitches. So Russell, it was a very long journey, and it was awesome, and it was great. And please, my only PSA is, never, ever, 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 ever ask anybody, well, how come you're not pregnant yet? Or when you got, how many kids you guys, things like you don't know what people are going through. So,
and Russell, I want to say that my wife never said that this was a very long journey.
It was more like a centimeters jersey, not a kilometers jersey, right?
Jersey? Are you saying Jersey?
Journey.
I think she said it was a very wide journey. She was like, this journey is like,
she said,
like
yeah,
wide.
it was actually a short but wide. So actually, it's kind of the same if you go by volume, really. It's like when they changed the shape of the Mountain Dew bottles. Like it's still the same amount. It just looks weird.
It's like a thumbs journey, but like wide.
It looks weird compared to maybe others that they've seen, and it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, this is I'm not used to this wide mouth bottle. It's like, this is all it comes in now for the rest of your life, actually. All right, quicksand.
This was not my favorite song on the album. This was probably my least favorite.
He's bringing up some Aleister Crowley stuff, which I don't even get. It's like witches and stuff.
Yeah, the lyrics on this one they definitely get more sort of esoteric and impenetrable.
At some point, David Bowie did just start having computers make lyrics for him. Like he would work with programs or he'd pick words out of a hat. I think everybody's trying to analyze his lyrics, and he's probably like, yeah, I just put some words together. I don't know. I'm dumb.
I listened to this album on repeat all day today, and then I threw in Black Star, his last album once, which I think still is amazing. But it's very like Radiohead adjacent, so it can be sometimes abrasive to listen to. But sometimes he was just saying things because they sounded good. Why do I keep bringing up Paul McCartney? But McCartney would do the same thing. Like, let me just make up some words that sound nice to this music.
And sometimes, like when you're behind a microphone, you say things that you don't really mean, and maybe you're playing a character, and it's not really what you think, and actually you're kind of a nice guy. So, Aaron, I forgive you. Fill Your Heart.
Appreciate you.
The only one on the album not written by Bowie. But
who wrote this one?
I don't know. Who cares? Now, this is my favorite song on the album. I know I said Life on Mars is a top 5, so I guess this has got to be top 4 after that Beach Boys and that one song I can't remember, but I want to say it's a Christmas song. Is it Mariah Carey's Christmas song? I think it might be. That might be number 3. I
think you were thinking of Backdoor Santa.
Oh, God, you're right. That is one of the greatest songs of all time. I love music. Andy Warhol, which I love this track. I think it sounds so good.
Is this the one that started with the squeaking and the beeping and stuff at the beginning?
They let some kind of studio back talk go on. And he's like, it's not Warhol, it's Warhol. And you're like, but you said the same thing twice.
Is so good.
There's a pretty interesting documentary on Netflix right now about Andy Warhol.
What's it called?
I think Andy Warhol. I don't know. There's like 9 episodes, and I got through like 3. I mean, it's some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot
not
like
sufficient.
It's a lot like Andy Warhol, right? Where everybody's like, "This is really super fucking important," and then you actually learn about the guy, and you're like, "I don't get it. Like, I don't get."
Yeah.
Like even this, they sent this song to Andy Warhol to play it, and he never said anything about it. He didn't. Bowie's like, I have no idea if he liked it or what. I don't know. Every time I see something by Andy Warhol, I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. I did like the. I don't know if it's an acoustic guitar, what it is, but it was kind of a fun music. I didn't get the lyrics at all, but whatever.
That acoustic guitar reminds me of The Who. I don't know who's doing it. Like, I keep thinking we hear these Bowie albums and
I don't know.
We hear the Elton John type influence or style and The Who and the Beatles, and I don't know who was influencing who, but it's all kind of part of the same. Matt, you were talking and I spoke over you.
Yeah. Guess who, though?
Who. Yes. The Guess Who.
Wait, no, but who influencing? Yes.
But yeah, I don't know who was, but it seems like it was all part of the same scene. Like they must have been listening to each other.
And them. All right, song for Bob Dylan.
Just like they were listening to
Bob
Dylan.
Are you talking about the band?
Yeah, the band. Them.
You guys hear Freebird in that guitar?
I heard Leonard Skinner the whole time, Aaron.
Yes,
that's what I heard too.
Yes.
I was Googling Leonard Skinner, David Bowie earlier today.
Yeah. And this is like 5 years before Skinner's first album, right?
I was going to say, Skinner didn't come out to like 76, 77 with this song, right?
Yeah. I don't know if there's any link that Skinner listened to this or what, but I heard it too, Aaron.
Queen Bitch.
Love it.
Yeah.
And how much does this sound like Ziggy Stardust, right? This could be right on Ziggy Stardust.
Just a classic song.
Oh, yeah.
You can really hear Ziggy, that next album in this one right here.
I would kind of wish this was the end. I know sometimes you close with a slower song, but I wish that would have been the end. I love that song.
I'm with you, Russell.
1,000%. I'll play the Bewley Brothers, but it's like it's word salad again. It's another one of his word salad songs where he just does whatever he wants. So there we go, folks. That is it for David Bowie, Hunky Dory. It turns out we're all kind of big Bowie fans. We didn't know it before, but I think we love him now. Let's get into our rating system. It's popular. It's patented.
And now it's time for
people are doing it in the dark.
Favorite part of the show, the patented and very popular Beck Did It Better rating system. Oh, yeah.
What would be the worst date to do in the dark, do you think? Like absolute bottom of the barrel.
Axe throwing.
Yep, can't top that.
That would be pretty good. Let's get into the rating system.
It probably would be like one of those bullshit speed dating things where you go and then you've got to meet people and then this person sounds really interesting and then you see him at the end. That would be the worst.
If I was doing that, I would be like, they can hear how heavy I'm breathing. That would be my only thought.
Again, Rob, they probably have music or other people talking. They can't hear everything that's going on. I don't know why, but in my
mind, it's silent. It's like one of those float chambers. Aaron, have you ever been in a float chamber?
Yes, haven't we talked about that? I've been in a float chamber twice. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have talked about it.
I love it.
Fuck, I was going to put that on air in or air out, but you just ruined it, Aaron. So thanks a lot. Just like your new car. Now, let's talk about...
It's not ruined. It's going to get fixed. It's going to be fixed to its pre-loss condition.
I'm picturing Aaron driving up.
I have the quote from the insurance company.
With his tan-colored Hyundai, and then the door is like a much darker tan. Oh, I screwed that up too, honey. Sorry about that. 88, Hunky Dory. 88th greatest album of all time. If we think that's good, we're going to say this is a system I came up with. Okay. So that's actually part of the reason why the guys love it. They celebrate it. They think it's great. This is everybody's favorite part of the podcast. They definitely don't just fast forward to hear the ending joke, which is what I assume people do. But do they? Do you think? What part do you think people fast forward to if they're going to fast forward through something? Would it be the ending joke?
Until it's over?
Till it's over?
It's already shut off. They just want to hear what's happening in Rosie's life. And then after that, they just shut it off and they're done.
That's kind of how I feel a lot of times, actually, on this podcast. That is a rolling well-toned if it's perfect at 88. If you thought it should have been higher, it shouldn't be this low. Well, guess what? Just like at an adult party that Aaron wants to go to, it got rolling boned, okay? It should be higher up on the list, which in this case would be a lower number. But in our case on the podcast, it would actually be lower. It would be lower on your phone because it would be earlier in history. And of course, your podcast app is chronological. And speaking of chronological, if you think that this is no good, okay, just like apparently I think chronological stuff, don't need it. Spider-Man, I'll watch it any damn way I please. Thank you very much. That would be a rolling groan. You don't like it. You don't think it's good. Unlike certain segments of the podcast, which some people keep doing, even though they know it's not good. In fact, when they edit the podcast, they're starting to do things like watch other things or listen to other podcasts while they're editing the podcast. Doesn't seem like maybe that's a good sign for the podcast, but it's fine. I'm sure it's going to all work out. Listen, that's the rating system.
That was a long run, man. I don't know how many. That was like one breath in that hole. That was pretty good.
Very impressive.
I've been running in the dark. Sir, you're at dinner. Why are you breathing so hard? Yeah, it's dinner. All right. So what do you think? Rolling well-toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan? Matt, what do you think?
I think it's rolling well-toned. I struggle to see this is just an awesome album, but it's definitely like a very, very good album. And so is there too much Bowie in the top 100? I don't know. I mean, this is pretty close to the Ziggy, from a time standpoint. Mm-hmm. So
good point.
Maybe it should be a little bit lower. I don't know, but because I do like it so much, I'll just say it's rolling well toned. I think this album is better than Station to Station, right? Yeah,
I think it's way better. It's not even close in my mind, but I don't know. I like a guy just singing on the piano and singing and with a guitar and singing. I love it. Russell, what do you think? Rolling well toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan?
Guys, we've talked before how Beck was inspired by Bowie. I think he covered one of his albums with an orchestra before, but Beck did an interview with Rolling Stone about how Bowie inspired him. He said, Bowie's always been a guidepost or a gravitational force for me. He's someone you set your course to or measure what you're doing against. And he actually said his real entry point into music was Hunky Dory, which he listened to when he was 12 years old. So he always loved Bowie, and he loved this album. So when it comes to being inspired by David Bowie and then inspiring this podcast, who did it better?
Beck did it better. And Bowie was right. These 12-year-olds taking over. Okay. Bowie's not even alive anymore.
I love the music. I love the piano and guitar. And I was telling Rob this beforehand. One of my probably 5 favorite things we've done or that I've experienced through doing the podcast, other than having fun with you guys, is being exposed to David Bowie music. I was never a fan before, but I just absolutely love this. I don't know if he should have 3 in the top 100. Like Matt said, there's so many people we haven't listened to, but I just really enjoyed it. I'm going to say it's Rolling Bone. It should be higher on the list.
My top 5 moments from the podcast is Aaron crashing the car. And then number 2 is Aaron buying the car. So those are my...
my third will be hearing about Aaron's experience with the repairman.
Yeah. Tune in next week to find out how it goes. It's an 8-day repair, so we'll see how it goes.
My list was not in chronological order, so I hate that shit. Aaron, what do you think? Rolling Well-Toned, Rolling Boned, or Rolling Grown?
Man, Matt and Russell both make great points. I agree with Matt and Rob. I don't remember what even was on Station to Station. I remember I liked it when we heard it.
So I like Golden Years. That was like I think that is one of his best songs.
That's true. So it's like hard to leave that one out.
No.
Yeah. So Bowie. I'm the same as you guys. Like I never listened to Bowie. He's been a great discovery for me. I will never get tired of listening to his albums. It seems like maybe 3 in the top 100 is too many, but we're just talking about this album right now. I never got tired of it. I did listen to George Harrison, All Things Must Pass today because I wanted to say that one should be higher than this one, but I still think this is, and shout out to my brother who loves that album, but I still think this one's better. So I'm going to call it Rolling Well-Toned.
All cars must pass by your retaining wall.
None shall pass.
None shall pass.
Yeah, over the retaining wall.
You got to get past it. You can't if you get over.
None shall pass.
I think David Bowie, though, is ultimately...
What is your name?
Ultimately...
What is your quest? How do you get your car stuck off the top of a retaining wall?
To drive car good, you did not.
Why do they call him Little Rosie?
I don't really know, Matt. Do you know? I just hear it all the time. It's weird.
Like he's taller. I think he's taller, right?
He's taller.
Why did they call him little?
Broader shoulders too. Yeah, he's
smaller
taller.
feet. I don't know.
Penis looks like Yoda. It does. Wait, are you saying Yoda looks like a penis, or are you saying the penis looks like Yoda? Here's the thing, guys. I think David Bowie is ultimately a tragic story because getting drafted before Michael Jordan and not having that great of a career, you just hate to see it.
Problems.
You know what I mean?
Surprised he was that good on the guitar with all those foot
crazy.
problems.
It's crazy to me. Listen,
I bet he couldn't step on any wah-wah.
No wah-wah
I didn't
pedals.
hear any wah-wah. He couldn't step on it.
That's a good joke. Okay, that's actually
is a good joke. Joe from Woodbury appreciates that one more than anybody.
This album is a rolling underappreciation. Nobody knew how good this album was until he came out with other good albums. And they're like, oh, this album was actually pretty good. It gives me such hope for this podcast that somebody's going to come along in the future. Some sort of audio archaeologist is going to dig back and go, you know, if you actually listen back through the 300 hours that they have put out currently, you'll get why Matt not eating vegetables is such a funny gag, or why the airplane thing is so good. You just have to get way into it. And I'm happy about that. It, makes me think that maybe I'm not just wasting my life here. All right. So anyway, on that positive note, next up, we have an album that's inspired by an old Nintendo game. The game, did you guys ever play Bad Dudes?
Yeah.
All right.
This is Baduism by Erica Badu. The ultimate bad dude.
It was like Double Dragon, but not quite Double Dragon. It was like Double Dragon with guys with cut off jeans.
But you're just too lazy to look it up online.
Erica Bad Dude.
If you want to hear from guys who chat and then they get off track, I've got the perfect podcast for you, Jack. Beck did it better.
Guys, do we need to start re-recording? I had my fly down.
Oh my God. You guys, just ignore me. I'm going to turn my video off here. This bread. Oh, this bread is so good.
He's eating that bread again.
Oh, man. I love spitting on this bread. I'm back. Road in my mouth.
Dinner in the dark, guys. Dinner in the dark. I'm telling you.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to do something like that.
I have dinner in the dark all the time. Just put the covers up over my head. Oh, what?
We're not saying no. We're not saying no.
You have to say yes.